Alright guys, Melissa here. I thought I'd do a video after watching Kevin Leandro's. I posted it over on the side if you want to watch it. And I'm like, where's the man who left his family? Where's the guy who left his family? That was my husband, Ben May. I'm like, where is he? Is he out getting another woman pregnant? Probably. Probably, knowing him. Anyways, um, I was one of our sons that doesn't have a dad anymore because he's so selfish, made us burgers tonight. Peppers, onions, not peppers, mushrooms, onions, really, really good. So what I had done today is I had called somebody and I'm like, hey, I could use a gift card for groceries. And they were like, yep, come on over. So I am very preventative, ladies, very preventative with money. I will ask for help with rent, utilities, um, food stuff, like before I need it. I will be like, okay, I've got this much saved, but I want to hold on to my savings and I'll use the resources. This is something you want to do, guys. As moms, you want to use the resources as much as you can. Like when we used to be in a trailer together, I would actually, call places and say, hey, can we negotiate this price? Can we do this? Can I use this resource? Why do you use your own money, right? Not unless you got a lot of money. Why do you use it? So, ladies, you can afford kids. So, I had somebody last night on my live action post that I'm usually over there making comments. I hadn't been in a while, but I usually add my stuff because you're in a community, right? And you're helping other people. So somebody had said something like, um, the problem nowadays is mothers don't want to stay home. They don't want to give quality time to their kids. Something like that. And it's not so much if you work or not, it's how you do it. But yeah. And I said something like, yeah, after one or two kids, I mean, you're pretty much home after maybe the second one because it doesn't make sense that you cannot give your kids enough time, you cannot give them the quality they need. You can't do everything. There's only so much energy and so much time you have. So someone said to me, are you against men being home um, as the homemakers? And I'm like, yeah, I am. Something like, do you support men being home, stay-at-home dads? I'm like, no, I don't support them. Why don't I support them? Because women are the nurturers for the most part. Men are meant to be providers. I don't know how many times I have to say this. Like my husband tried to say, oh, she has to work. Any good man is going to say, as my husband used to say, I want you to stay home, take care of the kids, take care of the family, take care of the trailer, take care of everything so that, he can be free to work. And he used to say, um, because you are home taking care of the kids and everything, I don't have to worry when I'm at work. And that is how good I was. I mean, we didn't have any issues. I didn't have to call him and say, could you come home because of so and so or anything like that. So that freed him to work. But unfortunately, he took advantage of that. I never asked him to go to doctor's appointments, never asked him to do anything. I did everything. And unfortunately, a lot of that time went to pornography. It went to being idle. It went to hanging out with his parents and not including me. Um, I remember one time they went to this concert, Beetlejuice, okay? And I didn't see this. And this is the stuff you have to look out for a woman when you're married, and you shouldn't have to. It's extended family. So I was like, they're like, Ben, we want you to go to Beetlejuice with us. Didn't invite me. And then they're like, yeah, let's bring, so and so on his birthday. So I said, yeah, go ahead, right? And then only after they got what they wanted, they were like, well, do you want to come sometime with us? I mean, they were just so rotten to me. So, so rotten to me for no reason. So, ladies, you want to be really careful about who you marry because a lot of times it's the in laws who will encourage your husband to divorce And, like when we had a trailer and we were getting behind on some of the mortgages, what did I do? I called the bank before we did and I was like, hey, can we get a deferment? And they're like, yeah, you can. Or call the tax office. Can we pay this later? Yes, you can. Can call the electric company. Can we pay this, make a payment arrangement? Yes, you can. We did have one time, I did this all the time. One time out of all these times that our electric got shut off because somebody didn't see the payment arrangement and there was some miscommunication. What's my husband do? Go and tell his mother, right? Instead of dealing with stuff with me, he tells his mother. She calls me, how's it feel, Melissa, to be without electricity? I said, you know what? It doesn't really bother me. And it didn't because I'm so outdoorsy and, outdoorsy person. And when I was growing up, I did not feel like I had to have a lot as a kid. Um, and she said, so she made a big stink out of it. And it's really, all this is not her place. None of this. I've never had a relationship with her. Yes, I went over there. Yes, I was polite, but that's it. I never developed a relationship. So she felt like she could run my life, and I didn't let her run my life. And whenever I said, I would send letters saying, thank you for having us over. We appreciate you cooking. But this is what I think. And this is how I feel. And this is what we are doing together. And she would get so mad. I'm sick of your letters. I'm tired of it. You can just leave. And she literally kicked me out one day. All I did was go and sit down to talk to them and talk things out. You can leave. We've had it with your letters. And so somebody told me to bring cookies over or something first. I didn't, but really snotty. So all this stuff, guys, that you see from Kevin Leandro too, you can look at my post, Melba's Nightmare, that I don't even play their game. And it's all them. It's all them lashing out. And you know what? God says, those who do not build on him, um, they're building on sand, basically. Unless a man builds on God, everything he does is in vain. And it's so true. They're like, Melissa this, Melissa that. I don't even talk to them. I don't even have a conversation with them, right? I don't even know Kevin Leandro, and he thinks it's okay to lie in court about me. I wonder how his son feels after seeing that his dad has lied so much in court. I wonder, can he really be proud of his dad? A dad who commits perjury all the time? Unbelievable. So these are the friends that my husband chose, Kevin Leandro and his buddies, which Kevin, I can tell you already, very low class. Doesn't matter if he served in the Navy or not. Guy who commits perjury like that, very low class. And my husband already came from parents who were not good to him. I watched Charlie Kirk, who talks about honoring your parents and how much weight is on that commandment, right? But what do? You don't obey them, right? So what do you do when they want you to do what they want? And you're like, hey, I'm grown up. We are doing things this way. And they're like, no, we want this, or you're getting the silent treatment, or you're doing it our way, or we're going to shame you. What do, right? You put some space there and you say, hey, there's some boundaries here, right? And then when they continue, you're like, hey, we're not coming over as much because you think you run our life and you don't. Honoring, I would say, spend time with them, which we did every single weekend. We want you over more. Well, that's nice, but how about our life, right? I had a lot to do. So, honoring them sometimes, I honestly believe, is staying away so that you don't have issues. I honestly think that. So, yeah. So, anyways, when you can't treat your kids right like they didn't, or, when I was a kid, my father, when I was younger, and this was really stupid, my father pulling my hair and stuff, throwing me and everything. He did say sorry about that, but when you're younger, you have to kind of put up with it sometimes. I mean, it's not like you can, hit them back or something, but you don't have to put up with that when you're older. You don't have to put up with the, criticizing you constantly, saying you're not my daughter, which my dad said, all this stuff. You do not have to put up with that. So once my dad slammed the door in my face, I became a Christian. He didn't like it. He didn't want me to be a Christian. I went over and I was holding my son at the door, and he got so mad he slammed the door in my face. I went over one more time to try to work things out, and I left my oldest son there too, hoping that would help. Not to use my son, but, and then I got uncomfortable and I picked him up because my grandfather was also there too, his father. And then, he was just like, to my son. My son told me after, "Where's your mother? Where's your mother?" Very rude to me. So I didn't really have much of a relationship with my parents. I just didn't. It was like living with roommates. So how do you honor parents like that who just trash you, right? You really can't. So between the abortion and them trashing you and everything, it's very difficult to have a relationship after, as my mother said. It's too hard to have a relationship. Well, that's because you never invested in the first place. So to blame your kid for all your problems, that's another issue too. I would never blame my kids for my own stuff. Never. You are the adult, your kids are younger. You don't blame your kids for stuff. And they grow up anyways. Kids will grow up, if you look at child development, and feel like things are their fault anyways, right? Until they have enough life experience, feeling like, oh, okay, this is why this happened or whatever. So, I just want to encourage you moms to be biblical. You do honor your parents, and many times that is staying away because they keep trying to trash you, okay? And because they're not happy, they trash you. I mean, you can share the gospel like I do here, and you can still love them, and you can pray that somebody else would come alongside and share the gospel with them, and hopefully they get saved. But when they are trying to destroy you, as my mother-in-law is and my father-in-law, and they have their own issues, serious mental health they have, along with Kevin Leandro, major mental health there. If you watch his last video, he doesn't even make sense. He starts off talking about, the storage unit, and then he says, oh, I'm going to fix it. I'm not really going to talk much. I'm going to fix it and watch this. And then he just loses his whole point on the video. Very, very like idle video. Doesn't even have a point. So, this is who my husband chose to hang around with. People who have no, what's the word? No couth in life. I guess that's what you'd say. You can appreciate what you did have with your in-laws to a point, but you have to outgrow people. And that's a big part of life. A big part of life is starting off here. You're in a big family. You're in a lot of different garbage with different stuff going on. Then you have your own family and you're trying to pull out of it, change things around, and then you have a husband who trashes you. And you have to move forward even more, ladies. And you have to grow, and you have to change some more. Because if you don't, he will continue destroying you. So you have to change, ladies. And whether that be, different jobs that you're growing, you're changing, they can't follow you there, they don't have a track of you. Or if it's going to college or whatever it is, you have to change in order to benefit you after they have tried to destroy you. And what you're doing is you're breaking patterns when you do that. You're breaking the patterns of the way you used to relate to them. And that is the healthiest thing you can do. Because they're still going, na 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 na, and they don't even know what they're talking about because you're a whole new person now. So, and Scripture says that too. Once you're a Christian, you're a whole new person. So that's what you need to do, ladies, when you have a very destructive family, is keep on growing. Put yourself around people who can see you, who truly see your heart and see the good in you, and stay away from those who are miserable and just have nothing to do in life but to, just try to put you down because they're trying to control you and they're trying to, get whatever they want. And whether that's they want you back in their lives or whether they want to just blame everything on you so they can look good with their image. They're trying to have some kind of control of the narrative. So keep changing, ladies, and before you know it, you'll outgrow them again.